Welcome back to Assembly Bethesda On Air. I'm your host, Hayne Fogarty, and it's truly a pleasure to spend this time with you. Today, friends, we're diving headfirst into a topic that is both profoundly fascinating and incredibly intense from Scripture. Why did Satan rebel against God even when defeat was absolutely certain? It's a question that has puzzled theologians and believers for centuries, right? We're going to explore where he and the fallen angels stand now, and perhaps even more mysteriously, what became of the Nephilim spirits, or if they even had souls in the traditional sense, which is a truly intriguing thought. My goal? To keep it straightforward, grounded firmly in the Bible, and easy for everyone to follow. So let's peel back the layers and get right into it, because this is one of those discussions that really makes you think about the spiritual realm around us. Are you ready? First, let's tackle that big central question. Why did Satan rebel, knowing full well he couldn't win? The Bible, while not spelling out every single detail, gives us some crucial pointers. Key passages consistently point to one thing: pride. Think about Isaiah 14:12-15. We see this figure, often called the morning star or Lucifer, essentially declaring, "I will ascend to heaven. I will set my throne on high. I will make myself like the Most High." Can you hear the sheer ambition, the self-exaltation in those words? And then there's Ezekiel 28:12-18, describing an anointed cherub, perfect in beauty and wisdom, but corruption entered because of that very beauty and pride. He became arrogant, wanting God's position instead of serving in his. It just goes to show how pride can twist even the highest beings. Perhaps he didn't truly believe the loss, or maybe, just maybe, pride completely overrode logic. Free will played its part. God allowed the choice, but the rebellion was futile from the start. Revelation 12 vividly describes the war in heaven where Michael and his angels fought back and Satan was thrown down. Inevitable? Absolutely. God is sovereign, my friends. Now, this leads us to another commonly misunderstood question. Where exactly is Satan now? Here's the thing. Contrary to many popular ideas, he's not currently chained up in hell running the show down there. That image, while dramatic, isn't quite biblical. In Job chapter 1, we see him presenting himself before God, and it's clearly stated that he was roaming through the earth and going back and forth on it. Think about that. The Apostle Peter in 1 Peter 5:8 warns us, calling him a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. He's active. He's influencing the world around us, and he's definitely still deceiving nations, as 2 Corinthians 4:4 tells us, describing him as the god of this age. Now, he does have limits. God absolutely sets boundaries on his power, don't misunderstand. But he's most definitely out there. He's present, he's active, and he's not locked away yet. This clarity is so important for how we understand spiritual warfare, isn't it? So, what about the fallen angels who chose to follow Satan? Revelation 12:4 suggests about a third of the angelic host sided with him. What's interesting is that they don't all share the exact same status right now. Scripture indicates a mixed bag. Some are indeed bound in chains of darkness, as 2 Peter 2:4 and Jude 6 describe, reserved for judgment. It's plausible these are the ones who crossed even further lines, perhaps engaging in the particularly egregious acts mentioned in Genesis 6. But others, and this is crucial for us, remain free. These are the demonic powers operating in the spiritual realms, the very ones we as believers are called to face in our spiritual battles, as Ephesians chapter 6 powerfully outlines. They're not yet in the lake of fire. That's a future event reserved for Satan and his angels, according to Revelation 20. Knowing this helps us understand the spiritual landscape we navigate daily. It's a constant reminder of the unseen forces at play, isn't it? Now, let's turn our attention to the Nephilim. This is where things get really intriguing, and for some, quite speculative, but always grounded in Scripture. Genesis 6:1-4 talks about the sons of God taking daughters of men, and from these unions, the Nephilim were produced, mighty ones of old, men of renown. Many biblical scholars and traditions interpret sons of God as fallen angels, meaning the Nephilim were essentially hybrid beings. Their physical bodies, we know, perished in the Great Flood. However, it's interesting that Numbers 13 mentions similar giants later on, suggesting perhaps a reemergence or survival in some capacity. But what about their spirits? This is where a common interpretation comes in. These disembodied spirits became what we now recognize as demons. As hybrids, they don't quite fit into traditional human or angelic afterlife paths. Texts like 1 Enoch, which Jude quotes, suggest their spirits linger, seeking hosts, and this neatly explains the phenomenon of demon possession we see throughout the Gospels, where spirits beg for bodies. They crave embodiment because they're earth-tied spirits from that unnatural union. While some reject this, seeing Nephilim merely as human tyrants, the hybrid view offers a compelling explanation for why demons might differ from fallen angels, being more restless and invasive. It's a profound thought, isn't it? These ideas, friends, really connect to some broader foundational themes. We see evil's origin rooted in prideful choice, the reality of an ongoing spiritual conflict, and ultimately, God's unwavering control despite all rebellion. Satan's initial fall serves as a powerful reminder that no one, absolutely no one, can overthrow God. The persistent activity of fallen angels warns us of a very real, tangible opposition in the spiritual realm. And if the Nephilim spirits indeed became demons, well, that explains a significant amount of the torment and spiritual oppression we encounter in the world. Scripture constantly urges us towards vigilance, to resist the devil so that he flees from us, and to stand firm in our faith. It's not just abstract theology, it's incredibly practical. What a journey through these intense topics. Thank you so much for joining me today on Assembly Bethesda On Air. It's always a pleasure to spend this time with you. God bless, and until next time, courage.